So I guess I'm going to talk about the cultural elements of the movie. And now, because the big thing is like the, overt environmental, political message of the movie. The other thing that really annoys me about this plot is they try to make it, Cameron seemed to make it way too blatantly political. I mean, just take the big, motivational speech that the colonel was trying to give, right before the big battle, and, it's like, yeah, we're gonna fight terror, preemptive action. Like, we're gonna fight terror with terror. I think that's the line that really stood out to me. Last time I checked, the Na'vi were not trying to intimidate you or scare you or use terrorist actions against you. Nothing like that. So this whole fighting terror thing is completely out. Makes no sense. Doesn't really fit in. Then you realize, unobtainium or whatever it is a blatant, thing. Is like a reference to oil. You got, and then like the colonel, got spent a lot of time in Nigeria. Jake Sully in Venezuela. Both countries that produce a lot of oil. And then George Bush, who is often criticized for using, petrodollar warfare, attacking countries because they have oil and stuff like that, and who was also criticized for having, very overtly neoconservative foreign policy. You start beginning to look at, it becomes quite clear that line is thrown in not because it fit the story, but because it fit the political message that, Avatar seemed, quite fond of throwing in. The colonel was obviously trying to, be a commentary on like the neoconservative foreign policy. You gotta fight terror. Preemptive strike. Destroy the enemy before they can get a chance to attack you. Then you got the obvious environmental message, or like the big mining corporations, the big evil. Then you got the fact that the military arm that was doing all the neoconservative stuff was, all pretty much essentially mercenary Blackwater type people. Then, of course, you got the unobtainium being oil, and especially when you look, like I said earlier, how both the two countries on Earth that are mentioned, Venezuela and Nigeria, are both major oil producing countries, and there's major environmental, there's essentially environmental terrorists in both countries that are attacking the oil industry in those countries. And then you got, and both countries have, the environmental terrorists are also fighting on behalf of native populations of the regions where the oil is being developed. Then you got Avatar, where the native population is, fighting stereotyped version of Native Americans are like. And then in Avatar, they go so far as to mention the Plains tribes of the East. Really? You're gonna. How much more obvious does James Cameron have to make that he's talking about Native Americans? Sorry, dude, you're just not hiding it very well. So, and for like the general reaction to the movie, I also found pretty interesting as well. With the, claims that the movie's racist, like, Jake Sully, the white dude, coming in and, somehow learning their entire culture in 3 months and then saving the culture, the whole sort of like white man's burden type idea, or white savior, like the white man going into the tribal area and kicking ass, and, saving the native people and all that jazz. But the thing that kind of, this is where I started to get scared about American culture. There have been reports of people actually getting so into the movie, they actually start getting depressed. And I swear to God, I think I've heard a story of somebody